Today, we're diving into a potential future, one that's closer than we might think. Life in a world where advanced AI has reshaped, well, everything. Imagine it's 2030. AGI, that's artificial general intelligence, has arrived. And it's surpassed human intelligence. It's evolved into ASI, artificial superintelligence. This isn't about, robots making our coffee. This is about a fundamental shift in society, particularly in how we work, how our economy functions.
It really is fascinating. We're not talking about some, distant future. These changes, they're already unfolding. Our sources offer a glimpse into how we might adapt, into what some are calling a post-labor world.
We've got two thought-provoking pieces to guide us today. The first is by Skip Potter. He's an entrepreneur. He lays out a framework for understanding the economic transition, the one that we're facing. He breaks it down into phases, each with its own set of challenges and opportunities. Our second source, it's more immersive. It paints a vivid picture of daily life in 2030. Follows a woman named Paula as she navigates this new world.
The key question these sources raise is this: how do we shift from a society where our worth is defined by our work to one where purpose and well-being are at the center?
Let's unpack that question. Starting with Skip Potter's breakdown of the economic transition, he outlines three distinct phases. The first he calls early disruption, spanning 2024 to 2026. What are the defining features of this phase?
Okay, so in the early disruption phase, AI begins to disrupt certain sectors, particularly those involving creative tasks, administrative roles. Potter refers to these as areas where AI's mistakes are more forgiving. Errors in these fields, while inconvenient, don't typically have the same life or death consequences as, say, errors in healthcare or transportation. This allows companies to implement AI with relatively low risk and get a sense of how this technology can be integrated into existing systems.
This early implementation of AI, though, brings some immediate challenges, right?
Absolutely. The most pressing concern is the impact on individuals who are already economically vulnerable. This idea that people can simply learn to code or adapt to AI ignores the reality that many are barely making ends meet. How can they, pivot when they're struggling just to survive?
That's where Potter's concept of economic bridges comes in. He argues that we need to build systems to support people through this initial phase of disruption. What are some of the solutions being explored?
Potter highlights a few promising approaches. Some cities are experimenting with reduced work weeks while maintaining full pay. This essentially decouples income from hours worked, allowing people to maintain their standard of living even as AI takes on more tasks. We're also seeing small-scale trials of universal basic income, providing a safety net as traditional jobs become, scarce. And there's growing interest in community ownership programs, where individuals can invest in and benefit from automated systems, which leads us to another concept Potter emphasizes: decentralized ownership.
This sounds interesting. A bit abstract, though. Can you give a more concrete example of how decentralized ownership might work?
Imagine a local community invests in building an automated vertical farm. Instead of a single company owning and profiting from this farm, the community members who invested share in the profits. The profits generated by the farm's produce, they have, a direct stake in its success. And the technology, it enables a more distributed model of ownership and wealth creation.
So it's a way for people to participate in and benefit from these new technologies rather than being displaced by them. That's a critical distinction. Now let's move on to the second phase Potter outlines. Systemic adaptation spans from 2027 to 2030. What makes this phase a potential turning point?
Okay, so systemic adaptation is where AI disruption becomes more widespread, affecting nearly every sector of the economy. AI can perform tasks faster, more efficiently, often more safely than humans. This raises a significant question. What happens to the workforce when traditional jobs become obsolete?
That's a pretty unsettling thought. What does Potter see happening during this phase?
He predicts a widespread implementation of UBI programs. As AI takes over, a vast majority of jobs, the safety net, it becomes crucial as traditional employment models break down. He also sees a surge in decentralized ownership opportunities, with individuals owning shares in various automated systems and benefiting from their output.
So instead of working for a company, you might own a piece of the automated system that's doing the work. That requires a massive restructuring of our economic systems. What about other areas of society, like education, how does that change in this context?
Education systems will need a fundamental overhaul. Instead of focusing solely on job preparation, they'll need to shift towards lifelong learning, personal development. The goal becomes empowering individuals, empowering them to adapt to a rapidly changing world and pursue knowledge for its own sake.
It seems like this phase is about building entirely new systems and structures that can support a society, where work is no longer the central organizing principle. This brings up some serious concerns. What are some of the potential pitfalls, the ones that we need to be aware of as we move through this transition?
One of the most significant concerns is the potential for social upheaval. If we don't manage this shift effectively, we could see widespread unemployment, increased economic inequality, and significant social unrest. That's why Potter's emphasis on economic bridges is so crucial. They provide a sense of stability, a safety net for those most affected by the changes brought on by AI.
Those economic bridges, they seem absolutely critical for preventing societal collapse during this massive shift. But there's another concern that often comes up, the potential for a purpose crisis. If work isn't how we define ourselves, what happens to our sense of identity and purpose? Our second source, The Story of Paula's Day in 2030, offers some insights into how people might find meaning and fulfillment in this new world.
Paula's story provides a fascinating glimpse into a potential future where work is no longer a necessity, but rather a choice. It allows us to explore, what a day in the life of someone living in this post-labor world might look like.
Let's take a trip to 2030 and experience a day in the life of Paula. Imagine waking up naturally, no alarm clock needed. Paula's AI-powered home system, it has already adjusted the temperature, brewed coffee to her preferences. And her home robot, it's tidying up. It sounds like science fiction, but this is Paula's reality.
What's striking is the seamless integration of AI into Paula's everyday life. It's not about, robots taking over, but about technology enhancing her life and freeing up her time for the things that truly matter to her. Let's explore those 7 takeaways. They offer a roadmap for not just surviving, but thriving in this new era. Potter's first recommendation is to start developing multiple income streams now.
That makes sense. Considering the potential for widespread job displacement. As AI and automation become more sophisticated, how does Potter suggest we go about creating these multiple income streams?
Potter, being an entrepreneur himself, advocates for embracing the opportunities presented by the very technology that's disrupting the traditional job market. He's building custom AI integrations for businesses and teaching others how to do the same. He's also exploring avenues like writing, consulting, media collaborations. His point is the possibilities are vast, especially when we leverage the power of AI tools.
So it's not just about learning to code, but about broadening our skill sets and finding creative ways to generate income. His second takeaway focuses on building strong community connections. Why is this so crucial in this context?
As work becomes less central to our lives and our economy shifts away from traditional models, human connection and collaboration, they become even more vital. Strong community ties. They can provide support, resources, and a sense of belonging. As we navigate these changes, think back to Paula's engagement with her local community center. That's a prime example of how community can play a pivotal role in this new world.
It seems like community becomes a sort of anchor in this rapidly changing world. What's the third takeaway, the one that Potter highlights?
Potter's third takeaway is to invest in personal development. This aligns with the shift in education we talked about earlier. Continuous learning and personal growth. They become essential, not just for career advancement, but for personal fulfillment and adaptability.
It's about embracing a mindset of lifelong learning, constantly evolving and expanding our knowledge, our skills. What about the economic changes themselves? How do we stay ahead of the curve?
That's Potter's fourth point. He emphasizes the importance of staying informed about the evolving economic landscape. This allows individuals to make informed decisions about their work investments and personal finances, whether it's reading articles, attending workshops, or engaging in discussions about these issues. Staying informed is key.
Knowledge is power, especially in a time of such rapid transformation. Potter's next takeaway encourages participation in local economic initiatives. Why is this so important?
Potter stresses the importance of supporting local businesses and community-based economic models. This could involve investing in local cooperatives, participating in those community ownership programs we discussed, or simply choosing to spend money at locally owned businesses. Remember Paula's investment in the automated vertical farm collective. That illustrates how individuals can directly participate in shaping their local economies.
It's about creating a more resilient and an equitable economic system from the ground up. What's the sixth takeaway on Potter's list?
Potter's sixth takeaway is to prepare for reduced work hours. As AI and automation take on more tasks, we may see a shift towards shorter work weeks. This requires us to, become more efficient with our time and embrace new ways of working.
Perhaps this means focusing on honing the skills that are uniquely human. Things like creativity, critical thinking, problem solving, emotional intelligence, the skills that AI, at least for now, can't replicate. What's the final takeaway, the one that Potter offers?
His seventh and final takeaway is to explore new forms of meaning and purpose. As work becomes less central to our lives, we have the opportunity to redefine what gives us a sense of purpose and fulfillment. This could involve devoting time to creative pursuits, volunteering in our communities, connecting with nature, or simply spending more time with loved ones. The possibilities are vast.
This resonates with what we saw in Paula's day. Her life, it wasn't just about leisure. It was about pursuing her passions, connecting with her community, and finding meaning in ways that went beyond traditional work. While these 7 takeaways offer a roadmap for navigating this transition, it's important to address the concerns and potential challenges, the ones that come with such a massive societal shift. What are some of the pitfalls, the ones that we need to be aware of?
One of the biggest concerns is the potential for social upheaval. During this transition, if we don't manage the shift effectively, we could see widespread unemployment, increased economic inequality, and significant social unrest. This is why Potter's emphasis on economic bridges, things like UBI and reduced work weeks, is so crucial. These measures, they help ease the transition and provide a safety net for those most affected by job displacement.
It seems like those economic bridges are essential, not just for individual well-being, but for societal stability. But what about this idea of a purpose crisis? How do we address the potential for people to feel lost?
Yeah.
And directionless when work is no longer the defining aspect of their lives?
That's where a shift in mindset becomes crucial. We need to move away from the idea that our worth is solely tied to our productivity. As Potter suggests, we need to explore new avenues for finding meaning and purpose. This might involve rediscovering old passions, exploring new interests, or finding ways to contribute to our communities in meaningful ways. It's about recognizing that our value, it extends far beyond our economic output.
This transition, it isn't just about changing our economic systems. It's about redefining our values and priorities as a society. Another concern that often comes up is the potential for increased government control in a world with UBI and other social safety nets. How does Potter address this concern?
Potter is adamant that this transition is not about government control, but about expanding economic agency for everyone. He argues that technology, coupled with new economic models like decentralized ownership, can empower individuals and communities to take control of their livelihoods. It's not about relying on government handouts. It's about creating systems that allow everyone to participate in and benefit from the new economy.
So it's about using technology and innovation to create a more equitable and participatory system, rather than handing over control to any central authority.
Exactly. It's about empowering individuals and communities to shape their own futures, rather than being passive recipients of top-down solutions.
Potter acknowledges that this transition won't be easy. It represents a massive shift, perhaps the biggest economic and societal transformation in human history. But he remains optimistic, believing that understanding what's coming is the first step towards preparing and adapting.
He argues that the real choice isn't between keeping things the same or changing, because change in this case is inevitable. The choice is between being proactive or reactive, between shaping the future or being shaped by it.
It's a powerful message. That emphasizes the importance of agency and foresight, navigating these uncharted waters.
And it underscores the need for open and honest conversations about these complex issues. We need to engage in thoughtful dialogue, consider diverse perspectives, and work together to create a future that works for everyone.
Speaking of diverse perspectives, Paula's experience offers a glimpse into one possible future, but it's important to remember that there are many potential paths, the ones that we could take. This deep dive has only scratched the surface of these complex and fascinating topics.
It has been a truly thought-provoking exploration of what the future may hold.
It really has. Thinking about these potential futures, it makes me wonder if traditional work became a choice rather than a necessity, how would you choose to spend your time and contribute to your community?
That is a question we should all be asking ourselves.
Yeah.
This transition, while daunting, it presents an incredible opportunity to redefine what it means to live a meaningful and fulfilling life. It's a chance to, break free from the limitations of a work-centric society and create a world where well-being, purpose,
Right.
and individual growth are truly valued.
It's both exhilarating and a bit overwhelming to imagine all the possibilities.
It is. There will undoubtedly be challenges along the way. But I believe that by embracing innovation, fostering collaboration, and prioritizing human well-being, we can create a future that is truly worth striving for.
This deep dive has given us a lot to ponder. We encourage you to delve deeper into the source materials, the ones that we've discussed today. These conversations about the future, they're not just theoretical. They are shaping the world, the one that we're creating right now.
Remember, the choices we make today, they will determine the world we inherit tomorrow. Let's choose wisely, and let's choose with hope.